What if I told you it can feel like the world is all against you, but you can still make a huge difference in the world? This is the story of Kevin Laue.
I was born without a left hand. Essentially what happened is my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck twice and my arm got stuck in between the umbilical cord and my neck.
Because the cord is wrapped around the neck, it actually can end up being more of a major issue in which the brain suffers injury.
Although I survived, I was born into rough circumstances. My parents divorced when I was 4, like some of your parents. It was tough. I was in a split custody household situation and I didn't have much of a home structure. And to make matters worse, my dad was diagnosed with cancer.
He just first lost the ability to walk, and then he was laying in bed, and then he couldn't talk anymore, but he could hear, and he hallucinated a lot.
And when I was 10, yeah, he passed away. I watched him take his last breath in the living room of my house. I held his hand as he died, and it broke me.
Kevin Laue not only had a hard start in his life, but a hard start in his basketball career. He had many doubters, and he only needed one person to let him have a chance.
I was 6'4", going into 7th grade, a giant creature. Shaggy red hair, one arm. I was a sight for sore eyes, and I tried out for the team, and the coach cut me. He told me that basketball is a 2-arm sport and to try something else. I didn't have direction, I didn't believe in myself, but I am a strong believer that it just takes one leader, one mentor, coach, teacher to step up and just change your life, to ignite a spark.
Hey, I got a 6'9" kid, red-haired kid, ball of joy, would love to play basketball. He was going to play for his other team, but they said he wasn't good enough. So I'm like, 6'9" kid, I'll take him, man. I don't care what his skill level was.
And one day he came up to me in practice and he said, "Kevin, why don't you use that arm when you play?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Why don't you use that arm?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't have an arm. That's the whole thing, bro. Like, chill." And he's like, "No, man, that thing's a weapon." This was what I hated most about my terrible life. I hid it, I was self-conscious about it. I didn't even like looking in mirrors. I avoided them like the plague. I was so self-conscious about this thing, and this coach, he couldn't change my arm, he couldn't grow it out, but he found a way to allow me to accept it, to embrace it. Mentally, that's all it took.
He's tall and he's lanky, he doesn't look strong. He's got one hand, he looks terrible. And then I go and I block all their shots.
I didn't want to be a product of my circumstance. Now I didn't have to. That's the first step. Every single one of you guys has a nub in your own way. It sounds insane, but you do. You have to learn to accept and embrace yourself. You have to learn to believe in you. If you do, everybody else will follow.
After his years in high school, he received a D1 scholarship to Manhattan College.
A Pleasanton student who is missing a hand just landed a basketball scholarship with a Division I school. Kit Doe shows us the moves on the court that impressed the recruiters.
If you've ever doubted yourself, felt sorry for, or never believed in yourself, then you need to play a little pickup game against Kevin Laue. The 6'11" redhead, that's him on the right, was just awarded a full-ride basketball scholarship to Manhattan College in New York, an NCAA Division I school. At 19 years old, his lifelong dream has come true. He did it with a strong work ethic, dedication, and one hand.
God blessed me with what I have. I've been this way since I was born. I don't know any different.
Kevin was born this way when a tangled umbilical cord cut off the circulation just below his left elbow. We first met him a couple years ago at Amador Valley High School in Pleasanton, where at nearly 7 feet tall, he dominated the field. But he broke his leg senior year and sat out half the season. After graduating, he went to a Virginia military academy to get noticed by scouts. He's well aware in Division I college ball, the stakes are much higher.
Basically, if I don't produce on the floor, it could be considered like, why'd you take a one-arm guy on the team? But if I do produce, then it's like, so what? He's got one arm.
After college, Kevin had entered the NBA draft in 2012, but didn't end up getting selected. Now Kevin is traveling the world, telling his story to millions of people.